Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is David Triana, the host of Making Connections, the interview show, a show that is produced by Conexión Media Group. And this is a special edition because, as we all know, we are deep into election season at the national level, obviously, throughout the United States for Senate and the House, and then downward down to the city and county level, which is the important piece for all of us that care about our communities. Having the right people in the right places in these local city councils. The county commissions is extremely important, and things are heating up because the election is going to be on August 20th here in the Emerald Coast and specifically in Okaloosa County. Our guest this morning is Decarlo Garcia, and Decarlo is running for the Okaloosa County Commissioner District 1 to be part of the Board of Commissioners here in Okaloosa County. Decarlo, how are you doing this morning? How's everything going?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks a lot for being with us. Very important that we have the different candidates come out and talk to the multicultural and growing Hispanic community that we want to focus on because those communities are growing. We are a multicultural region here in the Emerald Coast, and we deem it important for all the candidates that are willing to talk directly to them through us, hopefully, and in the things that we do. And we'll announce the event that we're going to have on the 14th, in which you are going to be a special guest, DeCarlo. So let's get started by you telling us a little bit about DeCarlo Garcia, please.
Well, my name is Decarlo Garcia. I'm originally from East Texas, Lufkin, Texas, to be exact. Uh, I grew up from single mother. I have another brother, Derek. I came to Okaloosa County in 1998 via serving in the United States military at Herbert Field. So I've been here for over a couple of decades now. I served my country, honorable discharge. I got out under unfortunate circumstances. You know, I went through a bit of homelessness, and worked my way back up, pull myself up by my bootstraps, so to speak. Odd jobs. I became an assembler at DRS, and very soon after that, I landed a job with Endyne, becoming a military contractor working on radars, and I've been there for over 17 years. I uh, I have a couple of other outside things that I do in my spare time, from hobby to other jobs in filmmaking. I'm in a film, a movie. I've done a play. I also like to volunteer from when I have extra funds. I like to donate to Sharing and Caring and Habitat for Humanity, and also like to help out with Habitat for Humanity. As a matter of fact, just yesterday we did food distribution with Destin Harvest. So, making sure I'm on service from military and in the local area is definitely something that I love to do.
Awesome. Yes, definitely experience in the military and the private sector, obviously, that you have, and serving the community doesn't hurt at all, right? Being able to go out there and serve the community that you live in. I saw some of the postings about the food drive that you all were part of yesterday. That was an amazing thing, and congratulations for participating in uh, in that. What inspired you? What was the trigger or what was the item that said, "Hey, I need to run for this commissioner's seat"? Was there something in specific?
Well, I am the chairman of the Citizens Advisory Council for Mayor Whitman Crestview. So I already do serve at that capacity, but throughout my life, like I said earlier, serving my country, and it's no larger gratification you can get in your life than to serving something bigger than yourself, especially when you have the ability to do so. Um, I looked at my local area and I noticed that we didn't have, as you mentioned earlier, this is a multicultural area. It didn't look very multicultural in the upper echelons of the local government. And I wanted to run for city council, but I cannot because I live outside of the city limits. And so for a while now, I've been thinking about running for commissioner. I kept talking myself out of it. It was like, man, I don't know if I can do that, but I got a little bit of encouragement and I said, you know what? I think I'm going to do it. We need representation and we need to make sure our local government looks like our community.
You bet. That's another important factor in my opinion. Also, um, DeCarlo, what are the top three issues that are facing Okaloosa County that you can think of, or that you feel are the most important ones?
Okay. Now, as far as I'm concerned, especially in our local government, uh, transparency is a big thing. One of the things I've noticed in a local area, especially before I started even thinking about running, is that I would ask who are our local officials, and most of the common people really don't know who they are. They don't really have any kind of relationship with anybody in local government. And it's not when I say transparency, I'm definitely not talking about they're hiding something, but it's the access and the relationship with the citizens that they are supposed to represent that seems to be lacking. So transparency is a big thing. We want to make sure that our citizens, the people who voted us in, you elected us to represent you, and so we need to represent you in a form, in a fashion, putting you first before any other outside entity. Second, I am a vet, there's over 30,000 veterans that live in Okaloosa County. So we need to make sure that we need to access and improve on veteran access to assistance and health care from anything like that. We need veteran support to be improved on in this area. They gave their life to our country, and we need to make sure we take care of them when they come back home. Uh, Another point is we need to make sure that we have responsible growth. We have a lot of people like to talk about infrastructure and things like that, and as far as the county commissioners, they tackle a lot of things in the local government, from budgeting to code enforcement and things like that. But we have a lot of growth, and the different characters of different parts of the county have different responses to that growth. But as long as growth is going to happen and it is inevitable, it is actually healthy. But we want to make sure that the growth is responsible. We put the citizens first, but especially before any special interests or anything like that. And thirdly, I want to I want to make sure that I support adequate healthcare service access. In this area, a lot of reporting and a lot of people who suffer things. I am the vice president of a nonprofit 501c3 group called We Reign Sickle Cell Corporation. And so I personally know how much of a problem that people with sickle cell have to suffer in this area, that we have to go as far as Pensacola, if not further, depending on the situation at hand, in order to get any kind of service. So we need to encourage physicians and specialists to come to Okaloosa to support our local people.
Wonderful, wonderful. And you mentioned the military, such as one of the largest industries here, obviously. One of the things that moves this economy is the military, or that maintains the economy. One of the things I've noticed, and I've been here since 2005, and I'm just going to be as honest as I can be with this. We have a large amount of military, obviously, different services, many very important bases for the United States military in general. And I always hear leaders, community leaders on the political side of the house, and other entities. We need to do more to keep that talent here. I always hear it, but I don't see it. I don't see a lot of action on that, to be honest with you. And there should be more action, because there are so many great people leaving the military and or retiring from the military with some of the uh, best backgrounds out there on leadership and management and discipline and all those kind of things that we learn in the military. As you know, retired military person, and I know that most of the people that are leaving the service, whether they leave early or especially those that are retiring, are some of the top-notch people you'll ever meet. And everybody should want to employ them. But there should be more programs, formal programs, to keep that talent here. I'm not sure if you agree or not, but that's just my comment on that. I just really have not seen a lot of action on the civilian side of the house towards doing that.
Yeah, a lot of times I don't think it's singular. I think it's multifolded, multifaceted situation for most military people, especially if they have families. So we do have Shoulder Ranch. which is coming up, and we're moving as fast as possible, of course. So that's going to be more jobs. And like myself, I myself am a contractor, so I definitely benefit from Eglin Air Force Base on the range and jobs like that. They are here. They're not publicized as open as, and it's not secretive, but it's just not as publicized to most people. But the thing is, I think we need to also encourage other businesses to come, because not everybody
Yes.
in the military is going to do a military type job, so that we should encourage other businesses to come into Okaloosa County, and that should be prior to the homes. We need to make sure that anybody who moves here have the jobs available when they do move here. There are a lot of talents that are outside of you know uh, international defense or anything like in that nature, for the
Mhm.
security of the nation. But those jobs are not really here uh, in a large scale. The military people and their families, they all do different things. So encouraging things like that is definitely a top priority. And part of that is the growth. The growth would be to not just encourage people to move here, encourage citizens to move here to buy homes, but to also encourage businesses and business owners to come to Okaloosa, so that we can continue, because we know the military pushes a lot of the economy as far as pricing and things goes here. So we need to make sure that the other citizens are able to compete and actually thrive in this county.
Understand. Talking about growth itself, obviously, there's many different facets to that. You got the infrastructure that needs to adjust to this growth. You got the housing issue, and all those other things that are kind of related themselves, transportation and the like. Which one of those is the most important to you, and the one that you think you're gonna work on, in a more focused way, or try to get the commission to act as effectively and efficiently as possible when it comes to growth? Infrastructure? Is it housing? I know all of them are important, but is there one that you are going to focus on?
And you probably heard it a lot because they know it's a hot topic. The growth infrastructure is definitely a priority over the housing. And the reason why is we want to make sure that the infrastructure, things like water service and electrical and things like that, we need to make sure that the infrastructure, we speak about roads a lot. Those are big things. So we need to make sure that the people, before you build the houses, that we have access to the housing, and that the housing and that our current infrastructure has been bolstered, has been updated to be able to handle the load and the impact of the growth. So to me, there's an order to certain things, and I'm not saying that they're not doing it, but I want to make sure that when I come into office, that is a priority to me, and that I let the citizens know what is going on, so they can be more satisfied with the way the growth is. The infrastructure is definitely a big thing, so we need to make sure we have the order. The roads are big. The overpass that we know of is happening. A lot of people can't see it because if they don't travel to that side of town or that side of the county, they can't really see. So a lot of things is that I can't see it. It's not happening. It's happening. It just take a lot. The foundation is the most important thing of any structure, and that includes the
Right.
county. So we need to make sure we build a very strong foundation, and infrastructure is the foundation. So once we take care of the foundation, then we can start building upon it.
You bet. Good point on that. Um, Related to that, obviously, there's a study going on for the North End. First of all, so that for the people that may not know, Decarlo, District 1, what area does that encompass?
Most of the north end of Okaloosa County, and to the east. And mostly if you up in the Crestview area, it's already to the county line from the east of 85, and on the east side of Crestview goes down to like the Niceville area. It's mostly land, just like I think District 3 is. It's a lot of land on the they're on the west side. But District 1 is on the east side. And most of the time you can see 85 cuts it. But
I
it's a lot of
understand.
land, and it involves a lot of military land, especially.
Got it. So thus the that North Okaloosa planning study is of importance then to the area. Well, the other thing that I want to make sure that people understand is, just because you do have a district that you kind of represent, you're representing the people in that district, but the importance of being a commissioner is that overall all commissioners have to vote on the issues that affect the entire county. So it's not like you're just going to vote on the issues that affect your
No.
county, though that is going to be the focus of the people that you represent. I want to make sure that the people that are watching understand that yes, you are going to vote for the overall county commission's issues and the importance of everything that comes into play when
Right.
it
One
comes
of
to the
five.
Okaloosa County itself. But the North Okaloosa planning study obviously is being conducted right now to hopefully come up with some good plans in that development of the infrastructure and the housing issues that are going on. Correct? You've been part of those discussions or attending those briefings, I'm sure.
Yes, yes, and the the turnout has been great. Inspire is the one who's doing is pushing that, and
Okay.
the citizens have spoken, and Inspire is listening. A lot of misconceptions about it is that a lot of people feel threatened that their property rights is going to be taken away. That is not the case. This is a study to basically give the county the information needed for any kind of future plans that they have as far as the growth is concerned. So the citizens have spoken and the north we know that the north end have a different character than the south end, even though the county, like you said, even though I would be, commissioner for one district, is commissioner for the entire county. So when these decisions are made, it must be with the consideration of the entire county, not just, but we do listen. You are to still listen to the north end, and the north end, they are afraid and concerned with the growth, which is why I mentioned earlier, responsible growth is necessary. The character of the North End is farmland, and people love, to have their property to maximize to the value of which they put on their property. But when we have special interests that come in and influence can be influenced by that. A lot of this development is more for housing, and they're building out, which I propose that we focus more on the already developed land before we develop and build up. We can fit more people. That's where the affordable housing comes in. We can actually put more people in the same square space once you start square footage and square acreage once you start building up versus out, and make sure that our infrastructure and the traffic and the roads and all that are ready for such growing growth on the outward level.
You bet. And talking about the growth as it relates to the housing issue now, we have a situation where people cannot even afford to rent. Uh, I know that's another big topic this discussed in your different forums and all of that, and that's the workforce housing issue. People working, for example, in Destin, coming all the way from wherever just because they cannot afford to live in Destin. So that adds to the transportation or to the infrastructure problems and traffic and all of those things. So, what are your thoughts on the workforce housing issue, and what kind of things do you envision could be done to mitigate those problems?
Well, as far as affordable housing is, not to change subject, affordable housing, the workforce housing is definitely needed. Eglin has done a great job with at least beginning to with more communication with the county, and they offered the orphan parcels. The location of those are to be questionable on some of them, but you can only do so much with what you have. But I'm grateful that they have begin. I'm grateful that it is starting. One thing I would do is try to incentivize and develop more communication between local transit systems. We're going to be putting more people in certain square footage. So the transit, the local transportation, we want to make sure that we maybe develop a plan to not alter the routes, but make additions to the routes and give more avenues to those workers to be able to get to and from the destination, so that we won't have more cars, but we will definitely have more less traffic on as far as individually. Some of those people won't be able to afford the cars, but we make sure that they'll be able to get to and from their destinations, and that should be a part of the plan also.
Yeah, you bet. And affordable housing is such an important thing. Um, I work at Herbert Field, and I remember that in the back of Herbert Field, an affordable apartment complex was being built when I first got here. I remember that very well. because I wasn't sure if I was going to stay here in this area, to be honest with you, at that point when I first came as a contractor. And then I said, hey, this is where I'm going to be for until I pass away, man. This is a great location, a great area, as you know. But I remember them building this apartment complex right in the back of Herbert Field, right there on MLK, in the corner of the back gate. And since I wasn't sure if I was going to stay here, I was going to look towards renting something, nice little apartment or whatever. And that place was not even a quarter of the way to being finished, and it was already full. It had already sold out on all the different apartments that they were going to build. So it's needed. It's needed. The military needs some type of affordable housing too. Especially the lower enlisted personnel. Even though they get the base allowance for housing, they still may not be able to afford some of the rentals that are out here. So very important issue. Uh, the affordable housing issue. The Local Act, that I've heard about also, I guess is supposed to help with that, and hopefully it will, with some providing the ability to buy homes, at through the loans or whatever it is going to offer. Um, Anything else that you want to cover on the housing issue that you deem important as a county commissioner when you go in there?
Um, yeah, yeah, just make sure that we don't have any be not make sure that we're not especially influenced by special interest. We want to make sure that we put the citizens first. So if they have to change the materials they use for the housing to make it more to bring the pricing down, we know that the military pushes a lot of the local pricing. And like you said, even with the workforce housing and a lot of airmen coming in, it's kind of hard to compete with the federal government and the wages and what they can allow military people. That is one of the things. But the other citizens that live here who may not be involved with military, we want to make sure that they also have a chance, which, it goes hand in hand with the bringing in and trying to encourage more businesses to come in and so that people can have better wages of jobs and options that they have instead of traveling, especially in the North End. We have a lot of things going on in the South End. It's not to discourage the South End, but the North End, if they want growth, we need to make sure that the citizens have jobs that are able to give them the wages and not have to travel as far. That'll alleviate a little bit of that traffic, on the roads also. So it's not just it's multi-layered. They overlap. It is not one take care of one job and then it's all solved. It's like they go hand in hand. So it's definitely something that is a continuation, and we need to make sure that we plan not just for the next 10 or 20 years or for whoever is favorable right now, but make sure we go for the next 100 years, that our children, when they grow, that they don't want to necessarily leave, but they can build upon what we've already done instead of fixing it. They can build upon it.
You bet. And Decarlo, I know you've been doing a lot of running around, obviously, visiting people, shaking hands, knocking on doors, and all those kind of things. Let's show, you know, um, well, first of all, mention, how people can get a hold of you. I know you're on Facebook, so I'm going to bring up the pages as you're talking about, inviting people to kind of give you a call or contact you. As you do that, I'm going to show your Facebook page and your website, if you don't mind. Okay. So
Okay.
let
Uh,
people know how they can get a hold of you.
Yes, one way you can get a hold of me is my phone number, 850-797-6164. I have a Facebook page, Decarlo Garcia for Okaloosa County Commissioner District 1. You can also go to my website at www.decarlogarcia.com. I have an email at decarlo.garcia@outlook.com.
Okay, and I think yep, it looks like your website, or this is your Facebook page that we're showing right now. Um, Decarlo Garcia for Okaloosa County Commissioner District 1. You got a lot of great pictures out there, meeting people, some videos telling people all about what you are trying to accomplish. There's some pictures of that awesome event you guys did yesterday, I think it was, you said, the harvest
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
giveaway,
Yeah,
and
that's
a
an
couple
old
other
picture.
things.
Yeah,
I
that's an
see
old
that.
picture of that when my campaign manager is in the foreground and the pastor
Miss
uh
Allison. Hmm.
Yes, yes, and the pastor is sitting beside me. We, local citizens, and we were
Uh-huh.
doing another. It's also in the same area. Another food drive we were doing back during COVID. That's why we had our
Oh, the
mask on.
COVID during COVID. Okay, outstanding. Yes. So if you want to learn more about Decarlo, see some of the pictures and listen or watch some of the videos about his campaign, go to his Facebook page. And let's also show you our website here. Here's your website. Awesome picture of you right there at the front. You can see the scrolling there
Yeah, I
and
want
what
everybody
he's
to
all
focus
about.
on that donate button.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly right there. If you want to
Focus
help
on that donate button.
DeCarlo,
You can donate to
make
my
it into the
campaign.
seat there. Bottom line, click the donate button and
Yes,
provide
sir.
some support because yeah, it takes money to make it happen. There's a little bit about the background. So you're from
Yes, sir.
Lufkin, huh? I'm from El Paso, Texas. You're already a good
Oh,
guy
the
being
the
from Texas,
opposite
bud.
end, huh?
That's right, all the way to the other end. Takes about two
And those
days.
those photos, the photos that you see, and the two photos, the one to the
Uh-huh.
right, that is the very year when Juneteenth became a federal holiday.
Oh,
I'm one of the founders of the African American Military Heritage Society that's at the Air Force Armament Museum.
is
And
that
we were
right?
having our first Juneteenth before, right at the same time when it became a federal holiday. So we were welcoming
That is
visitors to come in and learn more about Juneteenth.
That is awesome. That is a wonderful museum. I was recently there for the retirement of a friend of mine. And also, if you want to look at the key issues that he is campaigning on, then you can go to the goals section here. He, affordable housing for veterans, a major issue in his mind, and it is a major issue. Controlled growth, obviously, and infrastructure, diversification. Very involved the youth also, right? Obviously, with what you're
Yes,
doing
the
out there
youth
in
are very
Crestview.
important. I want to get the youth used to actually seeing and dealing with local government. My entire youth, I didn't know anything about it, and most youth are not really concerned because it doesn't seem like it concerns them. But we need to let them know that it does. And once we get them used to actually having access and dealing and talking to people in your local government and making sure that you're approachable, they'll become more comfortable with talking to you and learning about their home. Because, like I said, when we build, we are building for the future. And when they're the ones, when it's their turns to take over and start and become the leaders of the local community, we want them to build upon it, not fix what we did wrong. But that one of those things is to make sure that they're in line with whatever it is that we're doing and they understand.
Exactly. And, since you're in that point, as an advocate for the youth, what you're saying is so important because I think we forget about them in many different things in the business side of the house and also obviously in the political side of the house. Some of these kids are going to be voting the next year. You know what I mean?
Right,
So we try,
right.
we're trying to start educating them more about civics and the voting system and what a county commissioner is versus a city council.
Yes,
All those kind of things are so important,
yes.
and we need to try and get to them as soon as early as we can, with them understanding that. Because unfortunately, I don't think that's being taught so well in the schools anymore, and so it's incumbent upon some of us that have youth organizations or even the leaders are the present in the different commissions and or boards should make a special effort to try and educate the youth on what it's all about. So I think that's one of the advisory things that you're doing up in Crestview, right? That's to do with that.
Yes, sir.
That's
One of the
awesome.
things culturally, the thing is a lot of, we say multiculturally. So culturally, even, um, we are not, the local government of any kind is not very important to a lot of the young people because they don't have access to it. It's not even approached. It's not even brought to
Right.
them. They don't link from terminology or anything. They just see people on TV and it seems so distant. But when I was
Exactly.
canvassing, that's the thing. Like another important thing when you canvass, you knock door to door, you end up meeting people in the community. And recently, I was canvassing earlier this week, and the children are so excited. when they meet somebody. They don't know what it is. They're curious, and you can
That's
solve.
right.
You can really satisfy their curiosity when they know what you're doing. And I got out. We passed around. They helped us pass around. They were excited to pass around flags. You don't even have adults that excited to
Hey,
pass around flags and flyers to try to inform, and they don't even know what to do, but they're excited to be a part of something that breaks the monotony of their everyday lives. And then you never know what kind of seed you plant into the minds of the young people and make it normal for them to see and move. Even my appearance was normal in our culture. I'm not sagging
yeah,
pants. I'm not talking with a long bunch of slang. I'm looking them in their eye. I'm engaging them directly. Put my chin, bring your chin up. Don't look down. Look at me. Talk to me. You
right.
can talk to me and engage me. And they were excited. They were like, more, more, more. I'm like, I don't ran out now. You passed out
Oh,
all the stuff.
it is such an important thing to teach our youth about all of these things, uh, and other things, obviously, that other great agencies are doing and supporting the youth, the Boys and Girls Club of the Emerald Coast and all of those agencies, to
That's right.
just build them up for the future, man. That's the bottom line, right? Get them ready
Right.
for that future. I, kind of a tangent, but I hear a lot of people say, the youth are our future, and I always go, duh.
Right.
And my next question is, what are you doing about it?
Right. Right.
Yeah, let's go back over here and if you don't mind, then closing it out here. Uh, what are the main differences between you and your opponent? Because you do have an opponent
Yes, I
seating
do.
that is holding the seat right now, Paul Mixon. Uh, give us a couple of main differences between what you saw in his work as a commissioner and what you will bring to that commission.
Uh, One of the main things is that I'm going to be a full-time commissioner. I don't have anything on the side. This will be my job. I won't have anything on the side that I have to take care of. It won't be spread thin with anything, as long as it does not have anything to do with the citizens and the county, and my role as commissioner. Another thing is the transparency and the access to me. I actually don't mind, and I actually have a desire to get down and get into the community myself. Of course, you can't answer. I, as an individual, cannot answer everybody at the same
Of
time, but
course.
that's what we develop teams for, and we develop relationships. I plan on purposely having town hall meetings at least quarterly in the first year to bring people up to speed and get them used to actually the language and know what's going on in their community, what they voted for, what we're doing, what we can't do, what we can do, and to get the gist of where the county is heading so they can actually be properly informed. And then they might be encouraged to actually come to the meetings and voice their opinion about which direction they want the county to head. Also, I want to make sure that, as I said earlier, this is multicultural. It is not against him personally, but this is something that I want to make sure I value people and a perspective and common sense before politics. So I actually will bring a different perspective that a lot of that our current commissioners do not have. And I want that perspective to reflect in how we move in the county and make sure that we take care of. And I'm not saying they're doing anything on purpose specifically, but I want to make sure that everybody is actually reflected in the decisions that we make. Not the ones who you may have forgotten about, or you never had that experience. So sometimes it takes a little bit of experience in your own life to understand and relate to those people who are living a certain life. As we said, the citizens outside the military, I experienced that. When I was homeless, I experienced a different walk of life that you have to do when you have to stretch those dollars, and whatever pennies you had, you have to make it work. So I plan on bringing a different perspective.
Right. Using the money wisely and all those kind of things, and discussion and talking with people of all backgrounds to get their their feelings about the kind of things that are important to the county is so important. And this, in fact, being such a multicultural community, it's an important factor to consider all different aspects. Yes, you can't make everybody happy, but the bottom line is the more you speak to people, varied backgrounds. I'm not talking just economic, status. I'm talking about, ethnic backgrounds and also, obviously, careers. Even all those things are
Yes,
important, and getting
yes,
different thoughts and being able to make a decision that hopefully, will be a benefit to everyone or the majority, that is within the counties. Because again, you cannot keep everybody happy or even attempt to. It's one of the easiest ways to fail is trying to make everybody happy.
Right,
You just
right.
can't. You just can't. Before I give you some time to do some final words, I want to extend an invitation to anyone out there that is watching or hearing this that on the 14th of August, 14 August, Conexion Media Group, which again is the company behind Making Connections interview show, we are going to host a meet and greet the candidates networking social. So, what does that mean? Well, that means we are going to let anyone that is interested in coming to the event come. It's going to be at El Paso Mexican Restaurant in Mariester. That is right there near the mall in Mariester. It's going to be from 6 p.m. until 9 p.m. We're going to give the opportunity for the all the candidates that are interested to meet a multicultural audience because that is what we try to concentrate on with Conexion Media Group. We are very proud in saying that because we always want to have as mixed a variety of people as possible. There's going to be a lot of people from Okaloosa, but I can assure you there's going to be people from all throughout the region. They're going to come from as far as Pensacola, even from Alabama, because that's what we try to do on the business side of the house. Obviously, in this one, we're concentrating in the political side of things, and that is why it's a meet and greet politicians. So all of them that are interested in meeting a multicultural audience, we want to see you there on the 14th to come and meet and greet them. But we're gonna have some special guests, and those special guests are gonna get to talk to that audience for up to 10 minutes, and that includes Decarlo Garcia, and that also includes Mary Ann Wines, Sheriff Eric Aiden, David Schmidt, who's running for the school board, and Carrie Pitzer. They are going to be our special guest that evening. But again, everyone is invited because we want to all also unite people to come together, regardless of party, regardless of affiliation, regardless of whether they care or not about the other party, because this is it's not about that. It's about unifying people coming together and just talking, hearing the other side from the perspective of politics. That's okay. That's okay
It's
too.
all right.
Nothing like talking to each other before we make our decision to vote, and that's an educated voter, in my opinion. So, in addition to that, you're going to get to network. You're going to have some door prizes. We're going to have some food, delicious food from El Paso restaurant, and then we're going to close it out Latino style for you all. We're going to have a live music performer there to hang out and play some music, American music and Latin music, for those of you that want to stay a little bit longer and hang out and party and dance a
Hey,
little bit, because that's just the way we do it.
that's right.
But I thank you for participating in that event, DeCarlo, and I congratulate you on everything that you're doing, and I hope you're successful. Any final words for anyone out there that is watching us right now or watching the show later and does not know who DeCarlo is and does not know, who he's going to vote for yet? So, any final words for that person?
Um, Yes, August 20th is the primary, and that's for everyone. It doesn't matter your party affiliation. This is a universal election. This is a very important time to this. So that means no, and yes, I am running for District 1, but as he said earlier, everybody in the entire county can vote for all of the commissioners. You do not just vote for the commissioner in your district. August 20th, you early voting as early as August 10th, but August 20th is the end of the primary and the decisions will be made. I want everybody to know, and I thank you in advance for your votes and for your contribution. As I gave earlier, my website at decarlogarcia.com. Please donate to my campaign. It takes money to run this. I'm pushing as hard as I can. So if you don't know, it's because I haven't gotten a chance to get around to you, but I promise you, I will try my best to get around to you, if not via phone, but in person. As I said, the quarterly town hall meetings will also give, and this meet and greet that is given, I will be there and it give you the chance. You can ask me the questions that are pertinent to whatever your concerns are, and I'll try my best to get back to you. If not in person, me and my campaign manager, Allison Morris, is working hard to make sure we answer all questions online also. I thank you in advance for everything that you've done, and I plan on continue this relationship, regardless if I am commissioner or not. I will be a full-time commissioner, so that will be my job. And I hope everyone have a blessed day.
All right, Decarlo, thank you very much again. Congratulations on throwing your hat into the ring there and the hard work that you're putting on. And I know Allison is working very hard for you, and we wish you the best in this election and hope that you are successful. Thank you for being with us on Making Connections. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
This has been a special edition of Making Connections, the interview show on the election season here, especially in Okaloosa County. We thank Decarlo for being with us and all the other candidates who have given us the opportunity to interview them. Please follow us on YouTube. That's where this show will go up into, and then we're going to spread it out through all the social media sites as much as possible so that everyone can get a chance to know more about Decarlo Garcia and all the other ones that are out there. That we've interviewed will be up by then, also here in the next couple of days. Thank you for being with us. May God bless you and protect you, and we will see you next time. Hasta la próxima.
Do you want to advertise to thousands of Hispanics and non-Hispanics in Northwest Florida, and Southern Alabama?
¿Quieres promover tu empresa y producto a miles de hispanos y no hispanos?
Connection is your most cost-efficient way to do so.
Conexión es tu solución.
We are the largest English and Spanish publication in our region. Our primary mission is to inform, guide, and educate our readers via interesting content.
Somos la publicación mensual en español y en inglés de la más grande distribución en toda la región. Además de las 5,000 copias en papel, tenemos activas las redes sociales, incluyendo Facebook, Twitter e Instagram, y también por Internet.
Conexión is your bridge to connect you to the growing Hispanic market in the region. Call us.
Llámanos.